But 3 Australian women have been charged with joining the Islamic State in Syria. They were arrested on Thursday evening. They returned to Australia with their children, and this is after almost a decade spent in the Syrian refugee camp, where they were stranded after the Islamic State's collapse. The counter-terrorism forces have arrested 53-year-old Kausar Ahmed and her 31-year-old daughter Zainab immediately after their Qatar Airways flight landed at Melbourne International Airport. They travelled to Syria back in 2014 to join the so-called Islamic State. The police have accused the women of crimes against humanity while they lived under the Islamic State's self-declared caliphate. The Australian police say that Kausar Ahmed was complicit in the purchase of a female slave for about $10,000, and she faces several charges, including enslavement and engaging in slave trading. Meanwhile, her daughter Zainab had knowingly kept a female slave in the home. A bail hearing for the women will be held in Melbourne on Monday, and the duo was detained by the Kurdish forces in 2019 as the Islamic State's caliphate crumbled, and they were held in Syria's notorious Roj camp for years before their repatriation to Australia. In total, 4 women and their 9 children flew back to Australia from Syria on Thursday. 32-year-old Janai Safar was arrested after touching down in Sydney with her son. She was charged with entering into a restricted area and joining a terror outfit. She reportedly travelled to Syria in 2015 to join her husband, who was a member of the group. Safar was refused bail. A 4th woman travelling with the group was not arrested. And they're not the first Australian citizens to return from Syria's refugee camps. Small groups of women and children, in fact, flew back to Australia in 2019, 2022 and 2025. And hundreds of women from Western nations were lured to West Asia as the Islamic State group gained prominence in the early 2010s. In many cases, following husbands who had signed up as jihadist fighters, widely known as the ISIS brides, the case has stirred a strong feeling in Australia. And Australia's Human Rights Commission has urged the government in March to help repatriate 34 women and children who were stuck in Syria's notorious Roj detention camp. But others have accused the women of turning their backs on Australia and believe that they should be left to face the consequences. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.